Hello, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my new friend, Elsa Dillon. Hi, Elsa. Oh, you're muted, dear. Oh, there you go.
Hey, Kathy. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited to get to know you and to introduce you to my audience because I know there's going to be so many gems of information that's going to come out of this conversation that helps kind of fill in the blanks and the dots in people's understanding about this reality. For people that don't know Elsa, Elsa and her husband were professional photographers and traveled the world. They've been using that craft to publicize celebrities and fancy pants people all and then 30 years ago they started having experiences, and then after that they've now have in the past 30 years they have 8 children. So there's 10 of them that all are from the same soul family that decided to embody at this time and live together part of the time. They're getting older, so they have their own lives. But they all are in high frequency enough to work with other beings from other planets or other beings that are not seen in this world. So Elsa, let's let you tell more of the story than me stumbling through this. But I think I just am so excited to learn about your concept of the soul. Could you share a little bit about, first of all, the soul and the oversoul? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the soul is your essence or the sense of you. So we believe it has a flavor. It is source. So this word isn't a double meaning for no reason. It's the flavor of you, and we believe that being a star seed, you accumulate, so you get layered upon, and that's part of creation's way of enjoying creation. So you just keep layering up, and the soul can enter this realm, another realm, many realms, and as it does, it collects versions of itself.
Are you okay? You okay?
This is part of it.
Ah.
Yeah. Sorry, give me one more second.
Oh, sure. So the reason I'm fascinated with this is that I think that this is the time where we are being activated with the solar light codes so that we can embody more of our soul frequency, and that the opportunity is to clear the obstacles to that right now. So back to you, young lady.
Well, whichever way you want to create is okay. So there's no right or wrong way. And this is where they say there's no good or bad luck or right or wrong. It's just your will's choice. And sometimes the lessons that you go through don't feel right for others. This is a tricky one. It doesn't matter. You have to follow your path. because no one's path is the same. And we've kind of been in a web or a net where we've all been pigeonholed and suppressed. And when you suppress something, it's sorry. When you suppress something for a certain period of time, it comes to like an explosion. The explosion's kind of already happened. Now it's just the spilling out of it all. And this is where we're at now, is we're just we've let go of all the boundaries, and now we're in like free fall or in space, which is great because it means we're in creation. But it's unnerving, it's alien, and it makes you feel sometimes you're alone. But there's many of us like yourself, Kathy, that are here to assist others and show them that you're not alone. It's part of the process. And once you find it, then you actually realize how full and how busy it is. And magical, really. It really is magical.
Well, how do you see consciousness? How do you see the field that we're playing this game in? Do you see it as a repository for all this co-creative data?
I always describe mass consciousness energy as a hive, or when you see those birds, starlings.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be a bit pushy, especially around if there's a bit of interference from, I'm going to say man-made things, but who knows anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But if man-made things are in like magnetics, EMF, and the hive push on ones that are more open to the energy, I can feel their energy and the hive's energy pushing on them.
Right. Do you wake up sometimes in the morning where there's something going on? So is your sensitivity expanded to experience more of the realities?
I will wake up with dialect and words, and I wake up to it could be like I wake up, but I'm already awake before I'm awake. So I'm already in the process of working out words. So I'm already like, it's just my eyelids aren't open.
Boy, I know.
It's tricky though, because like my husband just said before, I can't sleep. You're too buzzy. And it's not so much all the lights and me getting up. It's actually your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a little friend there.
Yes, she loves your energy. When I was watching your videos to prepare for this, she was like, "What? And there's only a few people she does that with." So,
what's her name?
That one's name is Lexi, and then Pele. I don't know where the other. I have two.
You have two. We
Yeah.
love cats, so
Yes. Well, okay. So the reason why I asked about it, excuse me, is the expanded field. It appears that part of the reason why many of the first, what Dolores Cannon called them different waves, first wave, second wave, third wave of beings that came and embodied on Earth, came to hold a frequency that would help, almost like nodes on the planet, hold a possibility for the others that would experience that to remember. Do you feel that that's what you're doing with your work? Yeah, I can't hear. There you go.
To remember, to remember rattles.
Yes.
And I know a lot of the words and information I bring out rattle because many have been following this brief or storyline. And then you have this lady from the other side of the world who has lots of children, and they've been following this way.
Mhm.
And the only way I can say to everyone is you just have to, when you're listening to people now, because there's so much misleading information, you really have to find what rings true. And sometimes, no matter, you'll be listening to someone and everything in your belief system says it's incorrect, but
Mhm.
it feels right. And
Uh,
this is what your cat's doing with me. She likes me.
yeah.
And instantly, when I heard her little meow, I was like, "Oh, I've got to say hi because I like her." So see how this is a really basic example live of law of attraction, and people go, "Oh no, that can't be what law of attraction is," and I'm like, "What do you think it is?"
Like, yeah.
Yeah, why does it have to be? See, we've been taught to be serious for a reason. It goes real deep, this one. But we've been taught to be serious for a reason. And it's only through jest and in spirit that you'll work all this out.
Exactly.
If you're in serious and you're in numbers and you're in take, that's pretty much all the old way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're in give, if
Oh,
you're in give and receive, like the little kitty and myself, hello, hello, that's it. That's all we needed. And it lifted both our spirits.
right.
So
Okay.
cute, right?
Oh yeah. Well, they're such powerful beings. I mean, it's amazing, and the lessons that they learned. That one that spoke to us is very Zen. It could be Yoda. That one, and then the other one has lots of energy. They're sisters, and they
Ah.
couldn't be more different. But I want you to know that Dr. Joe is here, and he says, "Lovely to see you both. Thank you." Okay, so the reason I wanted to ask about the soul first was that I used to have a show called For Soul Illumination, and I did, I don't know, 20 interviews on it, and everyone had a different experience and um, a different knowing about the word soul and what that meant to them. And so I'm fascinated with now that I've experienced that. I didn't realize there were that many different fractal ideas around the same concept, but there are. And so I thought, since you were able to recognize that your children were part of your soul group, that you may have an even better sense of how others could tap into theirs, because this is the time. This is the time for embodiment, right?
Yeah. The soul is well, it's sun. It's sunshine. And this is what I keep saying. You are soul are. And people go, that's crazy. I say, well, this is the reason we're having solar flares, and I'm, I'm, it keeps showing me these solar flares are happening because of our vibration is lifting here on Gaia,
Mhm.
and there's so many of us doing it, and they knew that this would happen, they just didn't know how, and so now you have the soul calling the sun. The sun sends solar flares, so the energy's ramping up. So, as below as above, literally. So, as we're from our belly raising our vibration, it spills off onto others,
Yes.
and it lifts them, as it does for the sun. People find planets separate to us, and many Gaia and animals and water separate, but really when we say we are all, it doesn't mean humans. It means everything.
Right.
Yeah, this is why people are being able to communicate with, past ones, or their past lives, or beings, or Bigfoot, or wolfmen, or
Yeah.
sirens, or fae. It doesn't. This is why the reason you're being able to is because all the portholes are opening up faster and bigger and faster and bigger, because they're excited too. We've been so dormant. The mass has been dormant for so long. You imagine just sitting around waiting and being ignored. I know that feeling, being ignored and walk past. And now all of a sudden everyone's going, they can see us, they can hear us, they can smell us. They might not like it. It's an acknowledgement. So
Right. It's perfect. It's
yeah,
perfect.
it's
And
nice.
that's the joy that's been missing. When you connect with the fairies or the elementals or the dragons or the other unseen, and it's usually through nature. When you connect with them, you have the opportunity to see the joy and the playground that we were supposed to enjoy, and sort of got sidetracked with the fear virus. That's what I think it is. It's more a virus than the other stuff. And that's part of the opportunity to burn off that program.
Yeah. Well, if you are feeling a lot of scared or in that fear place, which I've been,
Mhm.
maybe the magnetics of you is a little bit out. So you might be sleeping too close to a power meter box, or you might have water channels running under your home. Your bed might be the wrong way in the room.
Yeah.
You might not be wearing a color that suits you through the day. These things, what we say to people is check everything in your life. You are literally a show. So check everything in the show to see how it's working for you. Because if you have lots of horror films playing or the news, it's all fear-based. So no wonder you're in fear mode. But
Right.
if they're not on, and the magnetics in you, things start to lighten up, and then you actually see you literally are looking through different eyes. So it's the power of observation.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes, I think I agree. Crystals can help, and lots of other copper energy devices can help, and drinking structured water, filtered and structured water, getting enough minerals, all of that. So are you? I'm curious about what you're seeing with your children. Are there capacities, which are there many of them, 4 out of this 8 are artists, um, and are any of their capacities changing with all of these escalated energies?
Well, we have our first daughter, Jem. She's the warrior. She seems to swing her sword around, and we all duck. but we know it's coming, and she seems to have like a foresight, or she like brings it in. A little meter one, Gidget, she is number 7 in the Dillon family. She's our meter, and she's having she's lying down a lot lately through this Mercury retrograde. So we know that their energies can be quite intense. So we have a lot of compassion for others as well as ourselves because it's just a lot. She gives us like a warning of what before a solar flare comes in.
Mhm.
Ginger, the electric one, she had her birthday 2 days ago,
Oh,
and our electricity's been crazy. Oh, this happened when she was being born as well. All the light globes in the house exploded. Electrical storms. And people go, oh, that's just coincidence. I go, yeah, okay, yeah, you can keep saying, how many times do you have to say it's a coincidence? It happens so often, so frequently. Why deny it? Like,
right.
why not, instead of denying it, why don't you try and run with it? And this is what we've done.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I wasn't brought up this way though. My family weren't brought up. We were brought up as very traditional family, 2 children, and I wasn't brought up this way. So for me, growing up, it was very frustrating. And I feel this for many others in family groups where they're being suppressed, because you get suppressed in the family as well, not just through society and school. It's in the family, but not because they're meaning to. It's just everyone's path, right?
They don't
But
understand. They
but it
don't understand what you're doing at
but it
all.
causes illnesses in you, or
Mhm.
discomfort or disease, and some of the markings from your childhood still can just keep continually repeating. So, but the best thing about us as humans and is we can change.
Mhm.
Excuse me. This coughing, I noticed Kathy coughed as well. This is mucus. Now, this could be classed as a bad thing, but also what's happening is it's like while I'm speaking, I'm releasing energy as well. So it's what doesn't serve me comes up, and it's coming up from the depths and coming up. And yes, it sounds gross me talking
Oh,
about mucus, but this is what it is. It's coming up. So
right, right.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I always have that. I seem to I did a energy thing before this, so it's
Ah,
it's already
well, it's a
it's already
clearing, right? Like
yeah.
you can't.
Oh yeah,
But
no, it's like thank you. I wish it's not nice to listen to.
Mm.
Oh, here we go. So we've got Xana saying hi, and Dr. Joe saying pathological. So I've heard in some of your interviews where you do dissect and use the English language to explain spells or word um, uh, processes that.
Swords.
So, yeah, swords. Okay. Could you share a little bit about that, because it's in English? You both of us speak English, but I also used to speak Italian. I'm very rusty. But
Yeah.
I mean, why English? Why all of the connection with English? Or could you just talk about the words and the power that they have?
Or the goblins. They're big with the default words, and they play tricks on you if you keep doing it. They come to assist, but they're tricksters at the same time. The English language is complicated. Everything's become so complicated for a reason, and the more complicated something is, the more distracting it is, because it's so complicated. It's like the Australian tax system. It's complicated. a law. Our law is complicated. The law of law and law. There's two laws. There's law, L-A-W, and L-O-R-E. Law of the cosmos is L-O-R-E, and it's your soul. And it's this. It's literally soul. It's fragile. It's chaos, but it has the purest frequency to it. It's Om. It's and if you're not in act for the highest good of this now, it will fail. And this is what we're and this is what we're seeing now. Is we're seeing a lot of programs and infrastructures and companies, as I've been told this week, how many companies are supposed to be shutting down because it will fail.
Right. Well, and anything that's not in love, in that's equitable and set up in love, is going to fail because the energies won't support. It's out of divine order.
Yeah. Well, it's not law.
Right.
And so if it's got a condition attached to it, this is the way we've showed our children, is to help them break it down. Does it have a condition or is that unconditional? So when you're speaking to someone, does it have a condition? So your answer, does it have to have a condition? If it has to have a condition, and there'll be an agenda behind it. So it'll be they're attempting to get into a debate with you, or but if it's give and receive, which is a frequency again, like an electrical frequency, it's like the two terminals where it goes back and forth, like how Kathy and I are doing now. It's a sharing, and it's a toing and froing, and it's working through Kathy's story or show and tell, and my show and tell, and so it goes back and forth, and we both come away lifted from this, and then we go on and do this again with someone else, and we call this arcing. So it's the word arcing is king. King. So it's royal. So it's royal law again.
Oh wow, that's perfect.
Yeah. So royal law, and is fragile. And fragile is fern. Fern is what blankets the forest. For rest, for ease.
Yep.
For is your compass.
Perfect.
For is, once you understand the compass, then you understand the fifth element, which is your spleen, which is your center, which is your place of entry, which is the placebo effect.
Wow. Wow.
So this is where the soul, the star seed, first begins. The spark is in the place of entry, placenta.
That makes sense.
Which is your spleen, which is your belly of Eve. Belly of Eve. If I do this around my family, they all tell me off, by the way. They're like, no, we're not doing this today.
I want you to know some of the people. Pam said, hey, love it, soul. Xana, thank you, Xana, for coming. Fascinating. Elsa is amazing into diving into words and finding gold in it that we miss. And I think this would be a class in its own. If you wanted to do that, it would be great. And she also said, I think it's so in every language, we just have to pay attention. I wanted to share from that comment. I think that's part of this whole time period, is learning to listen, but conscious listening without the need to respond. So often we, especially if we're nurturing others, we listen and empathically take on some part of their story or their energy, and we don't necessarily hold space for them. I don't know. I think this is part of what's being changed. transmuted. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and this is probably my biggest lesson is to listen because I'm such a communicator. But in saying that, I'll go from being a big communicator, then I'll just go super quiet, or I'm just like fixated in what I'm doing. So um, maybe that's the break from myself. But um, what we're finding is that the more that are getting excited by what Kathy and I are speaking about, the more they want to hear. It's
Yes.
exciting because they've had this floating around in their cells from since birth, but they've been told to be quiet. Shh, that's not real. Stop talking about that. We don't like hearing about that, and it's been with them all along.
Yes. Yes.
So now it's like, oh, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yes, I think the lockdown period helped us all find each other a lot easier than before, and it's now safe to come out and play. And what you had said that's so profound is that you'll be listening to someone and you'll get gems, but not all of it. Like some of it's like, no, I don't see it that way, or the love frequency isn't right. There's still fear in it, and that's the gauge that we all get to experience right now to figure out our way through. Because it's disorienting when more of your soul embodies your system for most people.
Well, um, so we do sessions one-on-one with people, like Kathy does as well. And some of my favorite people, who I see frequently, they used to have hauntings in their home, and I'm like, it's not what you think it is. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, that's your future self. And they're like, what? And I said, I don't know how to explain it, but it's your future self communicating with you. I don't know how it works. I don't have all the data from it, but I can help you work through what they're saying and help you to get in touch with them more regularly. Sometimes it's their pain body, and they'll be telling me their story, but their pain body's over here saying the same story in their work. So it's like two of them talking at once. So to me, it's quite comical because they're saying one thing and this one over here is like, you know how you see those images where you have the devil on one side and the
Uh,
angel on the other? Well, I've got these two laughing and this one in the middle telling me their story, and I'm going, that's so great. But these two are in jest with you, and they're here to help. But are you ready to hear what they're about to say? Because sometimes the soul or the human side of us wants to stay there a bit longer to gain more information. There's no right or wrong. Like, sometimes you have to stay in a spot because you're waiting for an alignment. And so people get frustrated with their partners or anything because they can't see it yet, but maybe they're there to hold, they're holding for someone else's alignment to come in to get ready.
Interesting.
Do you
Yes.
get what I'm saying? So if you
Yeah.
imagine all of us spinning, and this whole family is this one saying to this one, how come you can't understand what I'm saying? But they're holding space because there's two or three others that come into alignment. When they all come into the right alignment, then it goes ping, and then it.
Yeah. I see it as a note, almost like a musical chord. And that's where you may need the other notes in the chord in order to go to the next level. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, because can I say? Because before I came on here, where Kathy lives is she lives by 5 great stones, big boulders,
Mm-hmm.
and the 5 is the musical notes, the line, the space. It's actually the space between the lines. And the notes are very symbolic of us being sperm or star seed coming into this body. So where the note is a spore, which
Well,
goes back
I am a
to
5 also on my numerology. I'm a 5.
so numeral. So
So it's a change agent.
gee. See,
I
I
love
think
change.
some people told me I was in a psychic group. They said that I was 33,
Oh,
but I'm I
you
kept trying
look
to work.
33.
I was like, what's 33? So that they kept saying it's 33, but I love all the numbers because the numbers. So numbers to me aren't necessarily what numbers mean. So yeah. So you said you're Italian, so language goes back prior to the Latin, but
Well,
prior to this.
I'm
Yeah,
actually not Italian, but I
you're not
speak
Italian.
Italian.
Oh, you
No,
speak Italian.
I'm Russian and Polish is
Ah,
my backgrounds, but no, so Mediterranean or upper
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. But no, I'm not Italian. I don't know why. I'm sure I've been Italian many times, or there was something about the art, the so being aware of other realities when you're growing up. You had mentioned this. If you grew up normal, I grew up. I tried to be normal. Um, well, because the consequences were not good.
No.
So you learned how to figure it out, but I remember at 8 or younger saying, how do you get love here? Everything is
Oh,
conditional love. And I knew the game. It was almost like, how is how do you play this game, basically?
mm.
Is the game wasn't apparent how you ever won it, or how you found unconditional love here. So I know I was helped a lot by other beings. So
Well, the other beings. This is the one thing that I have really come to understand in the last 30 years is that so you'll have ones that turn up, like your neighbor or your landlord or the man at the store or friend, a family friend, and they're like your Noah or Merlin,
yep.
yeah, or Moses, and they'll be like angels. Sometimes see, when you think someone's an angel, you think they're just going to be so nice to you, but it's not like that. Because I mean, to them it is, but yeah, so they're there as they're like mentors. They're also enjoying the show of you. So that's why we say come back to the show, reflect on who's around you, what animals present to you, insects, and because they're all enjoying your show, and now it's time for you to enjoy it. And things that you thought were icky aren't as icky as they are anymore. And yeah, look, just the weight of being a human is enough. It really is. It's come to saturation point. Now it's time to play with it all and enjoy it and realize that heaven is actually here in you. It's not on earth. It is in you.
Mm.
You wouldn't have got here otherwise. And
That's beautiful. That's
yeah.
perfect. Yeah. So I want to ask another question about embodiment. We're talking about soul realization and full soul embodiment. Could you talk a little bit about what you know about that?
Well, if you're on default, you're not running a show, you have to question who's running it. And that's a big topic. I don't even know if I want to go into it with you. You're too beautiful to go into it. But that's a messy one. But it's very ancient and it's been playing out for a long time. and they're probably, many of them are still in us, and they've been here. They've helped us to understand language and religion, and use it now. Say thank you to them. Thank you for teaching us. Now we'll take those gifts that you presented, and we will use them, but we no longer need to be mind.
Yes.
Yeah, so we don't need to be up here. We need to come back down to our center, where our true heart is, and realign the cross that's been out of alignment, and use it back as our compass for our acts forward.
Perfect.
And the more we are at acknowledgement each day of our act, and simplify and our ingest of our day, we ingest the day differently. See the wordplay? So it makes it just, I can't not laugh. I sometimes think that people think I'm laughing at them. I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm laughing at myself going, really? All this time, those words. How many times I heard them in school and stuff, or my, your parents or your grandparents telling you off. And you go, all this time I've been reciting verses, spells, words, and it really means this.
Right. Perfect.
And so it makes me understand personalities better, and the play out.
Well, the programs that we're running that seem to be able to be lifted now fairly easily, not fairly easily, but if you're conscious, you can do it. I had the great fortune of working with David Maria, and he has a course called Freedom from the Known. And in that, you actually lift off the pain body, lift off. It's amazing. A lot of the programs that we have can be taken.
Freedom from
the known.
The known. So okay, so just that alone. When I hear you say that, it's it's spin home. So spin home from. So you have form and from. So form is a program that has to be outlined.
Okay.
And form is to fill in, which is schooling, right? Okay. From, it's intel that comes in that's unconditional. Form is conditional. From and form is the the tool in the letter spun round.
Wow.
So free om. So free om from intel, and then it means gift. So it's saying, so instantly I know this gentleman is going to have a good buzz to him, because
yes. Oh, it's amazing.
Well, he's saying this is what he's this is where his goal or act is in the free spin of it. So you see how the words, so the words, these words, the interesting thing is that we're speaking English, but when you do the dialect on these words, and then you channel the words as well, and then you have the galactic ones and the Fae come in on it, it actually breaks down, and it crosses over so many times in astrology, mythology, feng shui, the Mayans, the Celts, the ruins. It all sort of narrows down and pinpoints to that same message. And this is how I know I'm on path, because I just go, so you guys have all been in on it except me.
Oh, that's great. Well, Barrett said hello too. Thanks, Barrett, for being here. If you have any questions, please share. And Make a Path Louise has been here too. I didn't recognize her. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so we are in a period where disclosure is going to happen anytime. It's not going to happen through the governments. It's happening by the civilians admitting that they've had encounters like what you were brave enough to do, to come out and talk about it. And what do you see as humanity's role once we have a relationship, the exopolitics, or I don't even want to call it politics, but that whole engagement where we could actually take our role as a contributor? um,
Well,
um,
yeah.
yeah. Could you
Well,
speak to that a little?
well, look, I live on a farm out in the middle of the hills, and people go, "Well, how's this all happening for you?" I say, you have no idea who shows up and who they are in the scheme of the world, right? And it's freaky, it's amazing. And they say, "Oh, well, is that just you?" And I said, "No, no, no, this is happening for you too. You just got to start watching." And disclosure is too too um, too close to her,
Oh, wow.
which means once you understand that you're this person in act, but you're also spirit, so you're the ones, so you're the witness or the see act. This is what we call it. Once you realize you're the ones, you start to respin the matrix back on itself. So everything that the programs have been delivering, now you can respin them back and use them as a tool. And this is what we've been doing. And what's been the most amazing part about all this is it actually becomes my data, my proof.
Cool.
Yeah, so the matrix is mother being tricked. And this
Oh,
has been the best way to create slavery, is by slaves not knowing they're slaves. And they've done it through tricking the mothers so that they could, before you even took your first breath, you were wanting to please your mother. So if you're programming the mothers and interfering with their spirit in a huge way, all the way through birth and gestation, I mean, even conception, they're interfering with. So you're interfering with the sperms and the eggs. By the time you get here, you've got a lot of unraveling to do.
right, right.
Yeah. But in saying that, because so many of us are playing with this now, being with spirit, it's like a snowball. It's contagious. So
Right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like a frequency band that
Yeah.
can tap into. So it's like a
Yeah.
radio dial. Once people hear you and then feel your energy, they have access to that. It may be for a short time period until they're attuned, but they have access. So it's a remembering. That's what I
Yeah.
see it as, a remembering.
Yeah. So once you start doing this, you start changing the colonization of your cells, and they start spinning differently. And this is where the mucus comes up, because it's releasing.
Right.
So mucus inflammation is knots in the cell. And sometimes they're tired, or they have less oxygen, or they're a bit rusty or damaged. So now you're colonizing them and you're asking them to perform how the one sees it. But if you're only one, so if you're only in act, and they class this as the masculine, this is not about man and female. When I speak about her and him, it is not about man and female. This has probably been the biggest separation they've created in us, because we're both.
Right.
And so once you realize heaven, he in Eve, heaven is he in Eve.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
wow.
but it's the chicken and the egg. It's target is if you liked the movie June, it's the dust, it's the sense is tar, and that's the star seed. And keep upgrading on this.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I can keep going. I don't
Oh,
want to complicate
I
the
love
audience.
it.
So
I love it.
it's basically crustaceans upon crustaceans of ourselves. And you know, Kathy, the way that I came out in lockdowns is that my mouth was receding from tartar.
Uh,
So I just like, wow, you're right, because I always laugh at how they awaken us, and you know, most of the stories are very sad, but
right.
you just go, really, Tata? Are you kidding me? I'm just like, oh, okay.
Oh,
You
that's
got
fun. So okay, so I want to ask a couple more things, and I'd love to show your website. And I didn't ask you before, but before we're done, I'd love to show some of the beings pictures on your website. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay. So the reason I asked about our relationship with the other beings is that I think there's a lot of fear in the global consciousness about these other beings, even though they've been helping us for millennium. Since we've been here, they've been helping us, and some of them lived here before us. um, but all of that is going to start to be revealed in hopefully a co-creative way. Do you have any insight into the ways to help prepare yourself or others for the all the changes of the consciousness of people and the technologies that are going to be given to us maybe next year?
Oh,
Ah,
well. um, okay. Well, the most the first thing you have to do is make sure that you're here. So once you know you're here, so once you know that you got the witness, so there's just make out there's two of you, and
perfect.
you need to like each other too. Some people turn the ego off, and that's fine. But the ego is your tool as well. You can't have a part of you and just turn it off, because that's going to cause something somewhere as well. So, but you can always say, just go wait over there. So you have this conversation with yourself. So you wake up in the morning, you realize there's two of you, and then you start to go, okay, well, how am I going to make this spaceship run correctly? So you're going to have something nice to eat. You're going to go and look at the sun for a bit. Going to walk on Earth, or touch crystals, or make eye contact with someone, and then you're going to get on with your day. So as you get on with your day, instead of looking at it as Monday, I just suffer because it's mundane, but it's Monday as well.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at it like this, look at it as who just crossed my path? Was it a bird? Was it a plane? Was it a Superman?
I knew you were going to say that.
I did not know I was going to say this, but I just thought, I'm going to say it because he's a Superman. Who really is Superman? He's an alien. He's an ET.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, look at who's crossing your path. And sometimes you'll look up and you'll go, are those clouds trying to create a shape or a letter or an animal? And start looking at, because what your show will reflect for you in ways to excite you, because
Yes.
it likes you. And
Yes.
so it really is waiting for you. And what will happen is they will you'll start getting clues or messages for the next thing to do, the next thing to do, the next thing to do. And this will give you ease and grace. This will lead you to things that you've been wanting for a long time that you need. It will steer you away from things and steer you towards things that will be great for you. And it works. It really does work. It works for our kids. If you want to fight it, you can and test it out, which I've done so many times. And it's funny because when even if you go and test it out and go against it, which is part of creation because you're wanting to learn, it will give you a little lesson. It teaches you along the way, and then you start to have a laugh about yourself, and you go, "Really? Is this?" So then this Mr. Serious or Miss Serious just disappears, and the serious becomes funny. So now when I hear someone being serious,
Oh, no.
I hear the seriousness, and this is what I love about Dr. Joe is because he's got all those words that can't fit on a page that I cannot. I'm surprised he can even say them, and they're really long words. And then I'll break down the words with him, and you can't help but smile.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
so the
great.
serious becomes playful, and it becomes your tool.
Right. And well, that's the whole idea of, do you feel that this environment is for you or against you?
Yeah.
And once you realize that everything is for you, then the curiosity is figuring out how it's for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And most of it comes through contrast. So, you know, what's interesting, like some people I used to hide from because I didn't like them, but they would keep showing up on my path. I go, oh my God, there they are again.
Yeah.
And you just keep bumping into them. And then once you get over that and allow it, it's not what you think. And
Right. They have a gift for you.
yeah.
Or that
Or
trigger
them,
allows you to clear something in you, right?
Yeah. And then you allow it. So I finally face them. And then we have a shift after that. Like
I just did that last week or the week before. I totally understand that. And it was interesting that what I resisted not seeing them took a lot more effort than just experiencing them.
yeah. Well, this is where they go, oh, there's those cute humans again. So to resist is to mucus up and create a knot.
Ah.
Because you're resisting. So the soul is in cyst.
Oh,
So
wow.
one of yours, I know, right? It's so
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to know there's a couple more people that are saying hi. Shanine, I said it wrong before, but anyway, and Met. So okay, so I want to show real quick because we don't have much more time, but I want to make sure everyone knows to go to your website. And so is it okay if I show your website real quick? I want to show the beings. So here we go. Okay, so this is on spinbeings.com, and it's under the projects tab. Do you want to walk us through any of this?
Yeah, you know what's funny is like I've only put up a few because the few we were getting responses that were people are becoming quite rattled.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
We because each of the 4 drawers has like Gigi's got over 600. Publishing here in Australia has been a little tricky. So I'm just looking at ways to do it, to bring it out, or when it's ready. But it will just, I know when it becomes really easy, then that's the way it will be to go. You tell me which one you want to pick, because it was, I have to channel back into them. So
I'm just scrolling down so people can get a hint of what they should do when they come I mean, these are just amazing, and you can
but
almost
I mean, if you
them.
had one of these guys turn up, it is a little. If you've got scary music playing and you've just watched a horror film, it's going to be a little different, right?
Right, right. Oh,
But
they're
this is
beautiful though, and beautifully done. Okay, so here's ITN, int.
it's
It, yeah, who is that?
trust Kelly to pick. This is well, he's the sun energy. He's
Yep,
many use him as a god. He's a 10. He's the one.
the tin. Okay.
10. He's yeah. He's some spell it ATEN. Eten.
Beautiful.
Eten means 1 1. He
Oh,
is the
perfect.
sun's. Yeah, he's the sun.
So
And
he's the great central sun of the whole cosmos.
so this is Gigi's
Hmm.
drawing. This is how Iten came through for her. His field, his frequency or note came through, and he presented to her. And what's funny is it's like the beings come through and they go, "Oh, let's go to those fashion photographer kids because they'll make us look pretty." They'll make us look pretty. They got really nice colors, so go to them. But someone else might draw it in, and if they're in a different energy, will come up differently. Can you
Wow.
see how? But
Yes.
like that's how it is when you meet people on the street. Someone see people say, "I like that person." They say, "I don't like that person," because it's an
Frequency.
energy.
Right,
Mm.
right, right. Well, this is just remarkable. So I highly recommend, if anyone is really wanting to connect with their soul family and connect to the others.
This go if you go back up again a bit. That one there on the left with the 3. This was a series of there was probably, I think there was 15 because it was like a double page.
Uh-huh.
And these ones came through with lockdown.
Wow.
So when I say they're excited by us, they're excited. They're excited because now we get on with a new version of the. Because it's a new version of us, it becomes a new version of them as well.
Mhm.
So it's exciting.
Well, yeah, there's a dance that
Yeah.
we have with them,
Oh,
right? And
yeah.
that's the joyfulness. It's a reunion, I
Mm.
think.
To
Um,
remember.
right.
Yeah.
Another V.
Yeah.
Well, we are out of time. We'll have to do this again. And thank you
Mm.
so much, Elsa. What a delight to get to know you a little bit and to experience your energy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And what would you like to leave everyone with?
Okay, this is going to be weird. Most of my audiences will understand. Mason Works marketing is M. It's the M's.
Right.
M's are from the Milky Way. It's the moos of us. It's the Milky Way. It's the
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
the
I've been called a
it's
marketing muse before. My signature program is MMM.
yeah. So this is when I say there's no randoms. The M's is it's 3, 3, 3, 3. This
And
is the M.
the
It's
magic is
moose.
all M. They're
Moose.
all
Yeah.
three. Well, magic's in the 3, the reinforcement
Well,
of,
it's actually 4
or
moose.
4 threes.
Yeah, 4 threes.
It's
It's in ruins. It's in our indigenous culture as well. So It's
Okay,
the
well,
moose.
I may have to have a reading. So you guys go to spinbeings.com and please follow Elsa also on her YouTube channel. And she's part of the Conscious Awakening Network as well. So please start watching and learning from her. She has just listening to her conversations will give you a chance to retune to and remember who you really are. So thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Please share and help others get this knowledge.